Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wingcat Sports. And it's the weekly Red Wings breakdown, the last one of the season. I will do a full season breakdown with my dad once he's back, and we can actually both talk about our opinions on how the season went. So I'm going to kind of try and focus on just 2 games this week and maybe a little bit of what the off season looks like. But I'm not going to dig too deep into the season as a whole in this video, just because I want to have my dad have his chance for his opinions as much as mine. But going over the last 2 games of the year, one of the last 2 games it was. I mean, you could not ask for more from the Wings themselves to be in a playoff push until the last game of the season, literally the last second. Like, there's nothing you could do. They had us on our toes until the last second. I was at that last home game. It was amazing. It was a great game to be at. They ended up winning in overtime 5-4. Lucas Raymond, give him his money. I do not care what you say. Pay him. He's a restricted free agent, but he deserves the contract. He has saved our butts just as much as Patrick Kane did this year, and he deserves a nice big contract. And going with Sider, giving up his body so much this year, give him his money too. Both of them are going to be free agents, restricted free agents this offseason. Give them their money. And that leads to the last game of the year where we went in a shootout 5-4, but by the time we got to overtime, it didn't even matter. Tied it up with 3 seconds left. It was amazing. I didn't even think that was going to be possible. They tied it up 4-4, 3 seconds left. At that moment, we eliminated Philadelphia. But also, exactly in that moment, Philadelphia didn't know they were eliminated, pulled their goalie, got an empty net, scored on them. And that killed our playoff hopes right there. There's nothing more we could do. And it comes down to you need to win the games you need to win. You lost to the Capitals. You lost to the Penguins, right? And there's nothing you can do. If you would just beat the Capitals, hell, you could even go further back to that 7-game losing streak. But we don't have to, because everyone goes on a losing streak. But that 7-game losing streak, if you went back to that, beat Arizona once, beat San Jose, the bad teams of the league. You only needed one more point. Just take one of them to overtime. One more point would have gotten you the playoffs. But you missed it just because you couldn't do that. So you end up tied for that final spot. It gives you hope for next year. And me a little bit below my expectations. Remember, I predicted 99 points to start the year. 45 wins, 99 points was my prediction. They ended up with 41 wins, 91 points. I was 4 wins off. Same amount of OT losses. 4 wins off, though. But that's fine. Again, it gives you hope. It's what we wanted. I don't think that we're on a downhill trajectory. It's still not going to be easy with the teams in our division, right? Florida, Boston, Toronto are the top dogs no matter what. If you can get by them, that's great, but it's going to be tough. Florida is always bouncy, but they have got that core. And as long as Bobrovsky plays well, there's nothing you can do against the Panthers. They're going to be up there. Boston's going to be continue to be up there as long as they have both those great goaltenders, Ilmark and Swayman. Toronto, they're just a good team. They just can't get out of the first round. We'll see what happens. I mean, they lost to Boston. I don't predict them to get out of the first round this year. They're going to struggle, but Toronto is a good team throughout the regular season. And it's not going to be easy getting into the division. The Wings have a very good chance to do it. Yes, next year, but I don't. We'll have to see what they do in the offseason, which we'll kind of get a little bit more into that in the other videos. But they have a bright future, no matter what you say. The Wings are sitting there. They are better. They're a better team than Tampa. I don't care that Tampa has 4 more wins than us. They are a better team than Tampa, in my opinion. They are a better team than Washington. They're a better team than Pittsburgh. They're a better team than Philadelphia. Everybody who kind of made it in that wild card spot, I think we're better than. And I think we have the opportunity to continue on our trajectory into next year. We're kind of going over a little bit of some off-season stuff to kind of look at before I get more into depth about it in the next video. Your free agents. Personally, I would not be upset if they re-signed Reimer. I think Leinen and Reimer were a good tandem. I know people are always going to complain about the goaltending, but the thing you have to realize looking at this team is not the goaltending. It is the defense. You cannot leave your goalie out to dry 40 shots a game. He is not going to stop 40 shots a game. He's not going to even stop probably 35 shots a game, depending on how the game is going. most goalies, right? They're used to between that 30 and 35. And if they get into that 35 to 38 range, they're going to let in a few goals. It's going to happen. And when you're giving up 40 to 45 shots a night, they're going to let in more goals, meaning you need more offense. So if they bring back the goalies, I'm fine with that. But what they need to do is bolster up the defense. And ones that are free agents right now, Gostisbehere. Is he good enough to come back? I don't know. Right? He made an amazing play to save the season at home to end the year, jumping up and grabbing that puck. But do you want Evason up? Do you want you got Johansson that has to come up because he's at the end of his contract? Does that mean you're going to look at trading away Petrie and Hall to make room for these guys? Because Gostisbehere played well. He was good offensively. He did okay defensively. You team him up, right? If your pairings next year, I could see it being Evason and Cider, keep the young guys together, go Gostisbehere and Mata again. But then who you're going to team up with, who you have left? You have Wallman. I like Wallman. I would love to have him on the team still next year. Who's going to team up with him? Are you going to keep Sherratt? Are you going to keep Hall? Who is staying? Who you keeping up? Johansson has to be on the team. It is a question mark on the defense, and that is something that we are going to have to dig into, figure out what we exactly want to do, because that has been our weakness for the past 3 years. Your offense has been great. Defense has sucked. Going into the offense, who you bringing back? Right? Obviously, you're going to give Raymond his restricted free agent contract. You're going to give him his money. But you have some big guys who help the team out. Kane. And I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. Is Patrick Kane worth re-signing? Personally, I'll give him a 2-year deal. If you think he can play for 3 more, still 2-year deal. Have the option for 1 more if he's playing well. But did he price himself out of our town? Potentially. We'll see what happens, what the price is. He played well, though. And anyone who says he's not worth it is lying with how this season went. He led the team in game-winning goals. He had so many overtime theatrics going on, saving our season. Kane, if Kane plays even close to how he was playing this year, I would still be happy. Because he got a point per game, and that's amazing for his age, coming off the hip surgery. So if he wants to stay, we give him for a good amount of money. I will not be upset. Next guy, veteran leadership. If you feel like you need extra of that, even though I don't think you do, David Perron. David Perron hasn't done terrible. Would I bring him back? I don't know. Gotta let the young guys come up. Gotta see where we can improve. Looking at the free agencies, but I don't think I would be too upset though if they brought him back either, depending on how exactly it all went. David Perron's not a bad player. He is older, and I would like to probably see a younger core up here playing because Berggren needs his chance. And I really think they need to give him his chance. But if they bring back Perron on the right deal too, I am not going to be upset at all because he played well. I would not be upset. Other people who are going to be on their final years of a contract, Daniel Sprong. Daniel Sprong played well this year. I know some people are like, don't bring him back. I heard that when I went to some games. He played well. But again, Berggren, I'd rather bring up a young guy and then put more money towards somebody else. And we can maybe bring someone better back. To me, even the defensive side of things. Berggren needs to find a spot, and that means you're going to have to pick a spot between Kane, Sprong, Fisher, and Perron. You're going to have to figure out a spot because Berggren deserves to be up on the team. And again, talking again about people probably not going to be back. Christian Fischer. I know the rumor is Yzerman's talking to all of them, but it's what their price range is. And I would think if he's going to keep 3 out of the 4, the one that's gone is going to be Fisher. The other 3 are going to be staying. But I could see at least 2 of them staying, if not at least one of them. And I think Patrick Kane would be the one that they're going to try to keep because I think him and DeBrincat play well. You put him with Kane, Larkin, and DeBrincat on a power play. My God, that was a good power play. You can't deny how well they played. And even in overtime, whoever was out there, whether it was Larkin and Kane, DeBrincat and Kane, pairing them with Cider or Wallman, whoever you wanted to, it worked. We were a great overtime team because of that. And I know people are going to say, well, we need to win games of regulation because that's what killed us this year because we didn't have the regulation wins. It doesn't matter. If we're winning games, you're winning games, and we should have won more. And it comes down to that. But I feel that they have a very good opportunity to fill up this lineup. Keep it the same. I wouldn't even be upset if we got this team of the next year and the chemistry's there. It's playing well. I would be happy. But we'll see what they end up doing because there's a lot of options for them. I'm really hoping they don't decide to go the 3 goaltender route, though. They need to get rid of Husso. Either you're going to keep him and get rid of one of the other goalies, but I would prefer get rid of Husso, keep Alex Lyon, keep James Reimer. Worst comes to worst, if you want a third goaltender, give Cossa some action. My God, he's been down in the minors forever. And he did what I think he did okay in Grand Rapids. Give him some time. Do not bring back Husso. He has an injury problem. He was injured for most of the year. You almost made the playoffs without him. That should show you don't need him. And I don't think he's better than Linen. He might be as good as Linen, and you're paying him more. Cut him, trade him, do something, get rid of him. As much as I wouldn't mind having him on the team, I think it's better to move on from Husso than to keep him on the team at this point. There's no need to have him on the team. But that's really all I got at the moment. Just my initial thoughts of off-season stuff, and again, more in depth when we can get into it in the season overview. But good end to the year. I mean, again, you can't ask for anything else, and you're basically a playoff team. You should be in the playoffs, should be in a series against the Rangers right now, but you're not. Is what it is. It's how it happens. Playoffs are going to happen next year, though. I can promise you that. With all that being said, though, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the winning season overall. And until next time, we'll see everybody soon.